from MASNsports.com. School of Rockies, Roch Kubatko. Good evening to you, Roch.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well. I will be better as soon as you answer some questions for me. I have some questions for you to answer.
Great. There's no pressure at all. You know, I get a lot of questions. Every once in a while I can answer them, and it makes me feel good. If I could answer all of them, Rob, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you right now. I'd be doing something else with those powers. But I got a little reflective today. My dad would have been celebrating his 84th birthday. We lost him 5 years ago to cancer. And we talked all the time. It didn't matter what the lead topic was, whether it was my health, like this cough I've been battling or whatever, or how many times I've gotten lost this week with my lousy sense of direction or anything else. What stupid thing did I do? Inevitably would come back to the Orioles, and he's, big fan and would ask a lot of questions, and I would try to help him out. So in that reflective mood earlier today, I thought, what would be some of the things that he would really want to know, probably like any other fan?
Well, in honor of your dad, let's answer those questions, Roch Kubatko.
Or try.
What the heck are the O's going to do with the rotation?
Yeah, see, right off the bat, I'm like, I don't know. And a shrug doesn't do you any good in the phone call with your dad, by the way. But it is a question everybody has. It's they've got 5 guys set, lined up. The series against Arizona this weekend. It's already Irvin, Means, Kramer. We know Burns and Bradish are locked in. It doesn't sound like they want to go 6-man right now, at least not traditional, where it's just 6 in a row. Maybe a guy pops in, another one pops out, and you use 6 starters for 5 spots. But there's a decision coming, and it's coming relatively soon, since Grayson Rodriguez just happened to throw his first bullpen session today since going on the IL with the right shoulder inflammation. He had been playing catch. He said he threw around 15 pitches, and it wasn't just fastballs. He also spun some as well. He said he feels great, and I'm sure you could predict this. He doesn't want to go on a rehab assignment unless they make him do it, and they don't know whether they're going to have to yet. Brandon Hyde obviously said it depends on whether, he's on the shelf for a while and he needs to go face some hitters and get some innings. If not, there's no reason to. Either way, it wouldn't be a very long assignment even if he goes on it. So then what do you do with those 6 guys? It's that pleasant problem to have, but it's still a problem. It still qualifies as one. And I know poor Cole Irvin, it seems like since spring training, we've always been like, in the media, well, he'd be a logical guy because he, split his appearances last year between starting and relieving, and he'd be a good long man to have in the pen. He's thrown 20 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings. So stop trying to move Cole Irvin out of the rotation. I think he belongs there. So I'm not sure what they're going to do. Sorry, I don't have a firm answer on that one.
Hey, Roch, before we get to the next question real quick, you said something about 6 starters and 5 spots. With guys with, going on the injury list and guys coming back from the injury list, would it be good having 6 and you can skip a spot in the rotation for some of these guys?
You could, which is how it kind of works with the 5 spots, 6 guys. You only have 1 off day in June, by the way, after having about 8 before that, including, for whatever reason, off days in sandwiching this 2-game series all the way in D.C. They must be exhausted from that travel. So maybe with that schedule, you would want to go ahead and bring in a 6. That's something they'd have to consider.
Well, you talked about your sense of direction. MLB thought you were driving the bus, so they gave an extra day just in case you got lost.
We'd be in North Carolina if that were the case.
What the heck are the O's going to do with Heston Kjerstad? How come he's not playing more?
That's another one, and one of the reasons there's another wave of left-handed opposing starters kind of crashing here, but only 13 plate appearances up to this point since they brought him up, and he was not promised a lot of at-bats, despite the fact he was tearing up AAA pitching. They said it's going to be, you have to get used to kind of coming off the bench because it's such a deep and talented roster, and they're really set right now, even with Austin Hayes being on the IL. It's like, how many plate appearances can we give this guy? And Hayes, by the way, started his rehab assignment at Bowie. He was a DH today after playing 5 innings in left field last night, and he's homered twice, doubled and singled in those 2 games. I think it's still going to be a little while because they really want him to build up at-bats. But eventually he comes back, and then the decision is made. But with Kjerstad having trouble getting the lineup because Colton Cowser was the American League's Rookie of the Month, and even though he's cooled, he's still going to be in the lineup most times. And when you've got Ryan O'Hearn, who's going to be starting anytime there's a right-hander on the mound, that doesn't really leave a spot for Kjerstad. Cedric Mullins is batting 9th tonight against the lefty. He's been struggling against him, but Kjerstad's a left-handed batter, so that doesn't really open a door. So the decision's going to have to be made eventually. Do they DFA McKenna again? This time he could refuse the assignment because he's already been designated once because you don't need another right-handed bat. Or do they keep him in the plus speed and defense and say, well, it doesn't do Kjerstad any good to be sitting on the bench this much. He should play every day in Norfolk. The counter argument for that is, what else does he have to prove in AAA?
Yeah.
Because he's just going to tear up AAA pitching again. So that is another interesting decision they're going to have to make. But when they brought him up, it was not with the idea, we're playing him every day, let's see how he does this time. It was going to be, we'll try and find him spots where we can, like pinch hitting last night when he struck out, but there just aren't steady at-bats for him right now on this club.
All right, Roch, finally, Albert Suarez, what role does he fit in? A long relief, mop-up? What's the deal with Suarez?
Yeah, I mean, they like him in everything, obviously. The 11 1/3 scoreless in his first 2 starts. He had about a week off when he moved to the bullpen. Cincinnati Sunday, what's he do? He retires all 7 batters he faces. So they like the idea of having him in a bulk role because they really haven't had that in the bullpen. That's been kind of a weakness there. But he's also a guy that could do the mop-up late. He's a guy that, for one inning, his stuff's going to tick up, and he could go in and throw a mid to upper 90s fastball. But how long can they hold on to him, a guy who doesn't have options? Because eventually you are going to have to maybe move somebody into the pen instead of having him start. Tyler Wells eventually is coming back. No, he's rehabbing right now in Sarasota from the elbow inflammation. He isn't throwing right now, so there's nothing imminent with him. But eventually he comes back, and Dylan Tate's not going to spend the rest of the summer in Norfolk. So at some point, it's going to get a little crowded in that bullpen. So they really like Suarez. The just question becomes, can they hold on to him because he's so valuable and versatile to them? So another pleasant problem to have. I have a feeling he's going to be that guy who's always going to feel like he's clinging on that spot there. But he is a good one, and they're happy to have him.
All right, one last one in honor of your dad. Give me a great Oriole moment you shared with your dad.
First game I ever went to, Game 2 of the 1971 World Series. How's that for a first game? And we could talk to Jim Palmer about it because he pitched. They won 11-3, and I teased him because Richie Hebner hit that big 3-run homer in the 8th that cut it to 11-3. But it was a rain out on Sunday. They were day games. I thought I was going to have to go to school Monday. He goes, no, we're going to the game. I said, I'm going to miss school because I don't care, we're going. So I got to spend the day with my dad, my hero, my first game ever. And it was a World Series game. It's still one of the best days of my life, and I'm, 60 years old. So that was a big one.
Always great to have memories. Roch, here's to your dad, my man.
Thank you, friend.
Thank you very much.